Hello, my name is Carlton. There are a lot of people who see my devices, see my Apple stuff, and they give me that look like this guy is a snotty guy, this guy is, uppity, yada, yada, yada. Why do I use Apple stuff? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just another Apple clone, blah, blah, blah. First off, they don't even know what an Apple clone really is. They really don't. And I'm going to start this whole thing off by literally saying, now I buy new and now I buy few. This video is going to be about that statement. This video is going to be about how in the world did I start using Apple stuff? Why do I use Apple stuff? And this is the history of it. It's the history of me. Very first thing, I'm from the projects, so I can't be that yuppie. I have an intelligent, from what I'm told, I have an intelligent vibe. I don't talk with an accent, mostly. And for those idiots who think that people from the South are not smart, I literally have to say, well, actually, in Huntsville, Alabama, that's where they do rocket science. It's where they do rocket science. So, what's the main purpose of this video? To show you all of this stuff here. To give you my little computer history. When I was originally in Alabama as a youngster, it was a pipe dream for me to have the ability to use a computer. I used to always watch, what's that movie? It wasn't a movie yet. It was a TV show. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. And in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, there was a guy who had a book, and every single time he opened up that book, the book knew exactly where he was, GPS. The book would explain to him what you could and couldn't do in that area. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Sometimes they have like a little animation, I believe. That's what my memory tells me. This may not be completely true, but I do know there was a guy with a third arm as well. And I think I tried to watch one of those episodes recently, and it was painful. It was so painful. I could not watch it. Couldn't bear to watch it. It was so horrible. But it gave me this idea of, I want to be a computer engineer. I want to be something computer. I want to be something, not everybody gets those opportunities. And I got the opportunity to live in a good area, was very well loved by my mom, very well loved. And at some point, as I started getting jobs from here and there, going places, I felt like I was going nowhere. And I remember trying to get a job at the Birmingham News. And the interview turned sideways when the guy started talking about, do I know how to use a Macintosh computer and all this other stuff? And the weird thing about that entire situation was, I'm just a kid trying to get a job. There was no reason to try to, belittle me at that particular time. I just thought it was odd. And that whole situation, that just didn't really work out or pan out any kind of form of fashion. But I started going to school, I started learning, and somewhere down the road, I had gotten a job at Books A Million. Books A Million is a nice place. It's one of the best places you can go in, and you can sit down and have a coffee at Joe Muggs and read about a movie script called I, Robot. And this is the 90s, by the way. and you realize that this is an awesome script. Somebody should make this movie. That movie wasn't made until the mid to late 2000s. And I watched Will Smith in that movie just to see this is the I, Robot that I had read the script, and it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad at all. But I got a chance to experience some things that most people didn't. And this is where the computer stuff kicks in. The computer stuff. I was a cashier. And being a cashier meant that you had an opportunity to sit there, not sit, you would stand the entire time, but you'd have these little miniature conversations where two people, myself and the other person, we would converse about, oh, you're getting a book on weaving. Oh, do you weave? Oh, yeah, I just started 2 weeks ago, blah, blah, blah. And that person will talk. And then later on, you'll see that person 2 or 3 months down the road, and they'll have a big book of weaving or advanced weaving. And you can see this person, he or she is like working up something. They're building something in their life, whether it's a hobby or whether it's something else. It was just a great place to work because you got a chance to experience new people all the time. And that's one of the reasons why I like being a cashier. Even my part-time job I have right now, I like being the cashier because, you know, I love working with people. I really do. And then I got an opportunity to actually, you know, this is kind of weird. I got a chance to meet Miss Alabama, who ended up being Miss America. I got a chance to see her curse out someone using sign language and said, "Who you?" And she was very upset that day. I'm not mocking her. I'm telling you, she was telling Christopher, F you for not having my freaking book when I ordered that book 6 weeks ago and you said it'd be here in 3 weeks from Ingram and that book is not here. She made her words were heard on that particular day. She was so mad. So mad. And then I actually got a chance to meet Nicolas Cage. And I know that sounds really weird, but I got a chance to meet Nicolas Cage. He's a comic book fan. I sold him Moonlight, one of those things. It was a Marvel comic. It was odd to actually see him there. I was like, you're like Nicolas Cage. I saw you in a movie, The Rock or something like that, right? I was like, yeah. And he was, you know, and you don't want to, like, you know, be hovering over somebody, give me your autograph, just take a picture. Cell phones were not like they are now. So that situation really didn't happen too much. It was just, okay, get an autograph. So I got him to sign one of those journal books that had like blank pages, and he was the only thing that was in there, which is kind of cool. But I left Books A Million, and whoa. I didn't talk about the creepy guy. Let me get my knees down. Give me 1 second here. So, while I was at Books A Million, I ran into a creepy guy. This creepy guy liked the nudie magazines. Now, I noticed creepy guy would also turn around and buy computer magazines. And, you know, I don't want to, you know, he walks up to the register. What do you got down there? Excuse me. I didn't always want it to be about that. I wanted to sway the conversation. But sometimes that's what you want to do. You want to move the conversation either out the freaking door so you can go get your stuff and gone, or you can turn around and, you know, we'll talk about this here next time. See you next time, buddy. Yada, yada, yada. The creepy guy was into computers. He noticed that I was drawing one day or doodling at the register. And he literally says, so you like computers and you draw. Have you thought about using a Macintosh computer? And I was like, I don't really know. They're really expensive. The cheapest one I saw was $2,000. And he's like, yeah, they are expensive, but they last a long time. And we were just going back and forth. And he's like, you know what? You should check out these clones that are about to start, you know, going off the shelf. UMax and Motorola, they're making them. And, you know, I heard about the 601 chip, but I think there's a 602E out there somewhere. Supposed to be a brand new chip coming out soon, and, you know, you should check it out. And while he's trying to talk me and coach me into, leading me, this is the way you need to go with computers, or at least learn about it. One thing that I noticed was he wasn't a mean guy or anything, but he was like, don't let this opportunity go. Even if you got to go on break and grab one of the magazines, because you can do that, and we all did it. Grab a magazine from the shelf or a book from the shelf, read it while you're on break. Skim through it while you're on break. Pick up some knowledge. Get something out of it. And I did that. And it actually helped me learn about, especially the magazines, because magazines came out monthly, sometimes bi-monthly, but they were kicking in the information a lot faster. And also tell me about new things that were on the horizon. New things like the Apple Newton, new things like Palm Pilot, and just a lot of different things. And I don't talk about it much, but most of the time from the late 90s on, I walked around with a PDA in my pocket most of the time. There was always a Sharp or a Palm Pilot in my pocket all the time. So I always had a computer with me, just not a bigger one. So this guy literally pushed me into not being a wuss, but read a little bit about what you like. He knew Apple computers were the best ones for graphic design, but he didn't want to force me to get into a specific type of computer. He was like, don't hold back. Get out there and buy a computer, even if it's a PC. Maybe you'll turn around later on and sell that to somebody and get more money to get a Mac. You never know, because you can do stuff on PC too. And that's when I started to notice all of these IT guys that were coming into the office, the store. And these IT guys, some of them knew what they were doing. Some of them did not know what they were doing. What they would do is they would buy $1,000 worth of books, cram for the freaking exam, and get a certification or get enough knowledge to get that job, and then just work with that. They weren't pros. They were faking it until they made it. I thought that was interesting. I got a chance to witness a lot of the faking it before you make it. So my first PC was a PC. It was $1,200. It was a custom order. Bought it from a guy in the same Homewood, Alabama area. And I think I got a good deal. But immediately after buying it, I realized the hard drive was too small and I needed something bigger. And then went this whole cycle of swapping out this, swapping out that, and so forth and so forth. So by the time I had made it to Atlanta and I was working at Kinko's, I had to talk to the manager one of those days while I was there. I didn't have to, but I was like, I was like, hey, I can't even remember his name right now. Maybe it was Reginald. I don't know. But he was a black guy, cool guy. He was a Q, really intelligent guy, really, really freaking intelligent. Store manager. And I tell him, hey, I need to rebuild this computer, hopefully this weekend. And I got a whole shift here, but then after that, I'm off tomorrow. Is it possible for me to use the back room to just go ahead and do the computer, rebuild my computer here? And once I rebuild it, I'll just get all my stuff out and just get it out and, throw some stuff in the trash can, dumpster outside, but, be out of your hair. And I really need it because I need the internet speed so that I can get the latest and greatest updates. And he was cool with that. And he had a little caveat. He's like, I've never seen anybody do that. You don't mind if I come in here and peek sometime, do you? I was like, no, it's totally fine. Just swing on in here. Don't scare me. Just swing on in here. And the guy was cool as heck. And that was the last time I was really depending on a PC, a desktop, a serious desktop. From that point on, I started using laptops. Now, I ended up getting a really good deal at a pawn shop. I bought from a very close person I bought a IBM ThinkPad X model. X. This thing had 233 megahertz of processing power. I bought that for $60. $60. I don't know whether it was stolen or not. It wasn't my freaking problem. I repeat that. It was not my freaking problem at that freaking time. There's a cherry I just ate because it was floating in my tea. Okay, that was a nice little quick break there. But I ended up selling that machine for $200 to someone that I work with. Really nice guy. And I came back to Atlanta, saw he was still working at Kinko's. This guy, not that manager, but this one guy. And he sold my laptop for $200. I was like, are you kidding? If I sold it to him for $200, that meant that I could have sold it to somebody else at that time for $400. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. The point of the story so far, kids, is make sure you sell whatever you got at the best price possible. So I had moved on. At some point, I had grabbed a Macintosh desktop. It was old. It was barely functional. It had a broken CD player, and I eventually had to leave it. I had to let it go. It was a piece of crap. I don't think it made it to New York. I really do not think I actually brought that to New York with me. But I still wanted a Mac. I was going to UAlbany. By the time I had made it to New York, I was going to UAlbany, and that's when something different changed. I have found out about Apple's special programs. They have special deals for students. They also have special deals for educators, which goes into the same thing as students. But they also have a refurbished program. Did you know that? Did you know Apple had a refurbished program? In case you wanted to buy a machine and you were not 100% sure that, I don't know if I want to buy a Mac and pay that much money, you could buy a cheaper machine that was refurbished for a really good deal. And I had found a PowerBook at the time. That PowerBook was under $1,000. Took me a while to come up with that cash, but I did. And by the time I got up that cash, that machine was sold. So when they show that, hey, we have X amount of machines, they may only have one of those machines available. So whenever you see something on that refurbished stuff, you need to act on it very quickly. Otherwise, that deal could be gone tomorrow. And that's what had happened. That deal was gone. But when I shop hard. And just like when I bought my Mustang, I had a choice of 10 Mustangs to pick from. And I got lucky when I went to Jersey and found that one, that blue one. But with my laptop, I had one more company on the side that I was thinking of using. And it was called Small Dog. I thought it was a weird name. And then I went to their website and realized, oh my God, these are dog people that they love their animals. And I'll buy the freaking computer. Just please don't have dog hair in the freaking computer. I ended up falling in love with this little company because not only did they give me a good deal, but the way they packed it, it was a double packing job. The box was like this freaking big. The laptop was that freaking big, but it was like a box within a box within padding, and the outside it was just, wow. I was like, they're making sure that they get this product to you without any kind of destruction. And they had a refurbished, specialized box for it. It was nice. It was not brand new Apple, you know. kind of box, but it was still a very good experience. And the name of the company was Small Dog. I think these guys are out of Vermont. I hear their commercials sometimes on NPR. My car is a racist. I can't get any other channel without static. So, your car really is a racist. My car. It's a Mercedes. So, the weird thing is I ended up buying that laptop. And I loved it. I used it for a while. And I think I ended up selling it for $200 to some place in the South. I think, not 100% sure, but you know, the money, I sold it through eBay. The money came through. I got that machine out of there. I told them that, hey, it only had like one little nick on the side where the modem, because the machine actually had a modem at the time. The modem had chipped away. No, it was Ethernet. It was the Ethernet cable. It had kind of like chipped away or whatever, but I had already installed a Wi-Fi card. Was it Air Card? I think it was called an Air Card or something like that. But it was a good deal for me and that person, because I was about I used part of that money to, what did I use that for? I can't remember what I used it for. I can't remember what I used the money from the white machine. It doesn't matter. Part of that story there was literally talking about, hey, I sold it, and I sold it for $200, maybe $300. I don't know. $200 or $300 is what I sold it for, and it was a good deal. And then I went to buy something totally different. I had heard about this new product that Apple was going to be putting out. It was called the MacBook Pro. And I was like, I'm going to get in line. I'm going to buy one of these things. And I bought one of those things. And they had a weird delay on their system, so they couldn't sell us the models that they had projected at first. So they actually gave us a bump in speed, because I was supposed to get the 1.87 gigahertz. And they ended up getting a 2 gigahertz instead. Now, I love my machine. It was a little 15-inch machine. Absolutely loved it. And after about 6 months or a year, 1 or 2, I started having this problem. My machine was overheating. Couldn't figure it out. And I looked at the temperature. The temperature was like really, really high on the inside. And I was like, I got to go to the Genius Bar. I drove down there, went to the Genius Bar. And the guy, the IT person, the IT genius, or whatever you call those guys, he comes back after a while. It's probably like 30 minutes or something like that. And he says, he's got this look on his face, and he's shaking his head. And like, you know, that machine is broken. There's nothing we can do about it. And it looks like he had a custom order. And as he's saying that, you know, I'm going numb, because I'm like, I spent so much money. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And the guy's like, don't worry about the machine, because what I'm gonna do is, you bought a Core 2, I'm gonna give you a Duo Core 2, whichever one is the better one now. He gave me a better machine. And he said, sir, I'm so sorry, but this is your hard drive. I'm going to have to give you back this hard drive, because we don't have a 7200 RPM hard drive that's available. Now, this is only 100 gigabytes, but the machine that I'm giving you is going to have 160 gigabytes, but it won't be as fast. Now, he's saying this nicely and politely, because he knows if you have a 7200 RPM hard drive, that's a really fast hard drive. You're using it for video editing. I didn't use it for freaking video editing. I wish I had started my YouTube stuff and actually stuck with it when I had the equipment, because I had it and I was an idiot and I didn't do it. Don't throw that too hard, because I don't want to break it. So I walk out of that store. We open up the box to make sure that it's actually in there. And I walk out with a better machine than I had before. So getting the extended warranty in that position put me in a much better position. I had learned in Atlanta how to rebuild my stuff. I had this idea of if I needed to repair my machine, I would either pay the price or I would repair it myself. Not realizing that no matter what I had bought, it was going to break again in a few years, but this time because of wear and tear and not because of a poor design. It is possible for Apple to make a poor design. The design that they had is not like what I own right now. This is a brick where it's basically one slab of aluminum that's hydro ported or hydro mushed, whatever. This is solid aluminum. You could use this as a murder weapon. It's so heavy. And then there's one little plate that goes across it. And this one plate is pretty thin, but it's still aluminum. This is another aluminum plate. And then on the inside, you have glass. Now, the ironic thing about this is, and yes, you may have noticed, I've got tape up there. I have tape up there because the camera broke. That is the only thing that's ever broken on this machine. This is a custom machine, a new type of custom machine. I customized this myself. I maxed out the RAM. I put 2 hard drives in there. 2. There's nothing else you can do to this machine. This is a 13-inch 2011 late model MacBook Pro. One of the best machines I've ever purchased in my entire life. It's not dead yet. It's got more than 1 terabyte of space available. And this is my main boy. This is my big boy. I can do a lot with this. So much that I've done with this. A lot of my early YouTube stuff was actually done with this. This was not designed for video editing. My previous machine was. This is my wife's machine. Her old machine. This is named Worker Bee. It has a removable battery. It's all plastic. This is poor design on Apple's part. The white is chipping away on the edges. It's because the white plastic they used has and always will be, in my opinion, brittle. They have an issue with making white devices that have the wrong plastic type, that for some reason they break down, they're usually brittle, or they get discolored. But that's okay. This is my wife's newest machine. This machine is almost flawless, So it has that sticker on it, Hello Kitty sticker. It still has all its feet. This is a whopping 15-inch honking machine. Yes, the camera still works on that one. And that's a great machine. There's nothing wrong with that machine whatsoever. Oh, wait, it does have a little small issue, but it's okay. The issue is a good workaround. She's cheaper than me, and she refuses to fix it. So I'm like, whatever makes you happy, honey. If you don't want to fix it, you ain't got to fix it. So, when it comes to Apple, when it comes to why I buy Apple stuff, it's because it's always been my dream to do computer stuff or stuffs. At Kinko's, they realized that from day one of me working there, I literally stopped the customers from going to the back and saying they needed help, because I was enough to help them, because I knew how to help customers in that little zone. And helping them helped me learn more about computers, because I was learning their problems. I was learning their Excel problems, their PDF problems, their print problems of all types, their data transfer problems. I learned so much by being in that trench. And by the time I moved to New York, I wanted to get an iPhone. I wanted an iPhone 4 so badly. And this is actually an iPhone 5. It's been repaired a couple of times by me. And I still love this little design here. But it took me a while to get my hands on the actual iPhone. And then when the iPad came around, I went and bought it. And I love using this guy. This is like an amazing little guy. It's amazing. And it combines my drawing and it combines my computing. Because I bought this, I actually use my actual laptop a lot less now. Because this is all I need to go on a business trip. It has all the stuff that I need. Sometimes I do a quick data transfer before I leave the house. Other than that, I can work off this. It's one of the reasons why I love Apple stuff. It's because I've always wanted that synergy, and now I have that synergy of one machine talks to the other, which talks to the other machine. Everybody works as a team. And I don't buy Apple because I'm an Apple clone. Most people don't even know what a real Apple clone is. I know what an Apple clone is. I use Apple stuff because it is what works for me. I tried going Android, and it was difficult. I kept having to try to think, how do I alternatively do this? How do I alternatively do that? And I don't want to get all these apps when this has all the apps that I need built into it. And maybe I am the Hitchhiker's Guide to New York. This machine tells me what day it is, what time it is.
It's 1:43 a.m.
That means I need to go to bed. Yeah, I need to go to bed. I am throwing these videos out there only because we got the time. You, me, we got the time. We're in a strange world right now, and we're going to struggle to make it to the new normal. Whatever the hell the new normal is. Whatever the hell it is. But now you see why I have Mac equipment. They don't always make the best things, but sometimes they make good stuff. And I try to get their good stuff and use their good stuff. This machine here is out of warranty as of March 31st. This machine is out of warranty. Currently, I need to take the skin off that is on here. I think it's time to stop using the skin. But this is still one of the best devices I've ever purchased in my entire life. Damn right it was pricey. But this is one of those Apple devices where Apple got it right. They did the right thing with this machine. I got the extended warranty because I was afraid. I was afraid that they didn't do it right. But this machine was done right. And it's gold. Doesn't mean much to you, but reminds me of Halo 5. Reminds me of Halo 5. That's the end of this video. Hope everybody stays safe and healthy. We will get through this. It just takes time.